Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age or any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I ride. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And with concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Lights are bright on Friday night.
It was a crazy week 7 and 3A, and we're here to talk about it. Hello, everybody. Terry Vinaigrette Goodwin here. Sideline to sideline, the Class 3A edition, brought to you by NeuroGuard Plus, right here on L4 Media. And there was first off, a bunch of great games, as there always is, but there was a bunch of legitimate upsets this week.
Yeah, there was. And some of them were a little bit closer than what you thought they'd be. Right?
And some of these in 4 weeks won't look like upsets. Some of these, the stories are still being told for some of these teams. But when you look at some of these games like Wichita Falls City View, maybe the biggest win in their program history, at least in the regular season. Marion with one of the bigger upsets that nobody's talking about. New Dad, and not being an upset, but just how dominant the Eagles were against the West Crush team that had been competitive against some really good teams.
How about Grant Saline, man?
Grant Saline, dude.
Proving that their 5-0 was not a fluke, and now they're 6-0.
And we kept trying to tell everybody in the Big R's preview show in 3A that they were a team that you're going to have to watch out for, and they're starting to show that. But let's jump into if, by the way, I'm Terry, that's Grant. We do 3A. We review the last week. We preview the week that is. So we're going to start with the last week, and we'll also have Coach X on here later on. But I'll start with Marion 35, UC Randolph 28. That was Marion on the year struggled, but that was I think one of the bigger shocks of the week. Nobody was going to talk about it because even as good as Rohawks are, I don't know how far they're going to go in the season. But they're a team that were state ranked and were 6-0 going into it and had some really good wins.
Probably feeling pretty good in the region down there, right?
Yeah,
what do you think before this? And they should still be.
Yeah, I still think they're going to be okay. But this is a Marion team that has struggled all year. And now, to be fair, they played some 4A teams. They played some really good 3A teams. They lost to 4A Gonzales 23-6 at the beginning of the year. They lost to Poteet in the shootout 35-28. But I didn't see this coming.
No, I didn't either. The game was kind of back and forth, and finally Marion's quarterback Cade Pape throws a 9-yard touchdown pass with just like 26 seconds left to win the ball game.
Yep. And so Marion pulls off, and that kind of reshuffles that district now because Marion and Llanos 2-0. Ingram and Rohawks are 1-1, and then Florence and Luling, they're going to be out of it. But still, just an interesting game there. Here's another one. Franklin outlast Troy 56-34 as 5 different Lions score. This was a close game, but Franklin throws down 21 straight points to pull away. Impressed with Franklin, but also impressed with Troy.
Yeah.
Troy hung around in this game, and Franklin's just kind of eventually, and this is what Franklin does so well on offense.
They lean on you.
Yeah, they lean on you. They grind you down. They grind you down. And then the moment your offense doesn't score in that third quarter, that's when they pounce. And
yeah,
Franklin
so
pounce.
when you play Franklin, it's a war of attrition. How long can you hold up? And while you're holding up, right? Because when everybody's fresh, right? What are you doing with your best opportunities to get ahead of them, right?
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like, you can't get behind the sticks. You can't have any penalties. You can't turn the ball over. You've just got to try to match Franklin and then go one better than them, because when it gets late into the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, they've been pounding on you for so long that you wilt.
Yeah, that's a great way
wilt
to
like a
describe it.
tomato plant in August, right?
And I'm curious to see what Troy does now, because Troy this week has a game that they should win comfortably against Cameron Yo, who has struggled, but Cameron Yo's 1-0 in district. So at least mentally, the Yeomen have the whole, hey,
I gotta think Troy feels pretty good about themselves.
Oh, I would think so. Again,
I mean, I know Franklin pulled away and did what Franklin does, like you said, what did you say? 21 straight points to pull away. But they were in it for a while, right? And to be in it against a tier 1 team like Franklin, I mean, you got to be patting yourself on the back at least, saying,
no, I agree 100%.
Look, we're in this, and if we can hang in there with Troy or Franklin, we can hang in with anybody. Gosh, I got the hiccups.
But you know how that works, though, man. You get that one loss, and all of a sudden you kind of lose focus. And again, Cameron Yo's been terrible all year, but they are 1-0 in district, and that's all that matters. So anyway, just be curious to know to see how that goes. Anahuac and East Chambers. We talked about this game in the preview.
Like the Swamp Bowl or something like that. Right?
I think that's what it's called. And we said this is going to be a good one, and it was, as Anahuac outlast the Buccaneers 53-48. Brady Barrier
should have gone to this one instead of Salina Silver Springs.
Oh, we'll talk
that
about
was
that
actually on the list of potential games for us to go to.
Yep.
Why we picked Salina and Sulphur Springs, I don't know, but
you can never pick when a team's going to spit the bit like Sulphur Springs did. Brady Barry for
Anahuac. They got the bit knocked out of them, I think. They didn't spit it.
I think they spit it pretty hard. We'll talk
they
about
spit
that
a little bit.
We'll talk about it for
They still got it knocked out of them, dude.
Barrier for Anahuac, a huge night, 20 of 36, 327 yards to the air with 3 touchdowns. Thomas Dalio ran for 160 yards and 4 touchdowns on 31 carries. And just, that Anahuac offense, man, just absolutely exploding.
Yeah.
The Panthers go now to 2-1 in district. And just the difference, and this is where this is where this district is so confusing, because last week Anahuac gets absolutely dominated by Orangefield 38-0.
Yeah.
And then to not only beat East Chambers, but to throw up 53 points. I mean, is Orangefield that good defensively this year?
Don't know what's going on.
And they won this week. Let's go ahead and kind of bend these together. They win this week over Cold Spring 28-26.
A really good Cold Spring team.
Yeah, 10-3A Division 1. You said something about in 2A. We always kind of bring this up at this time of year. If we were to re-rank the districts, I think 10-3A Division 1 would be higher up on our list, because Orangeville,
top 3,
Anahuac, East Chambers, and Cold Spring all playing well. Hardin, 5-2, even though they're 1-2 in district. Even Kirbyville's 3-3 overall, but they're 0-2 in district. So just interesting how, again, Orangefield, the Bobcats destroy Anahuac 38-0, and then Anahuac drops 53 on East Chambers.
I think Orangefield's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, Liberty Islo 49, Gladewater 34. LE's, since that one loss, has just been taking care of business. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be hard pressed to find a more athletic team in that region than what Liberty Islo is.
Look, and I know it's non-district. I know we can say it doesn't matter. Teams evolve, and they do. But Liberty Islo beat Henderson, who beat Kilgore.
Right.
And Kilgore was the prohibitive number 1 for a team before Henderson beat them, and Kilgore's still great. What Liberty Island, and you and I felt Brad Willard would make this program and flip it.
First year.
I don't know if I thought it was going to be this quick, this dominant. Tatum came into the district hot. We were talking about Tatum and how great they were.
Everybody was.
Yeah, and Gladewater was 3-3 going in this game, but you look at who Gladewater's played. I mean, they have got some skins on the wall with who they've played, and here's Liberty Islo rolling, and yet I still don't even know if I can say Liberty Islo's the favorite in the district, because because, oh, yeah, you've got number 5 Jefferson just sitting there at 7-0, and they're rolling through everybody.
Yeah, Jefferson and LE. God, what a tasty matchup
That's
one
November 1st. That might be a game. We might be back in East Texas for that one.
Yeah. All right. Palmer 55, Pottsboro
Wow.
34. Pottsboro comes in this game filling their oats. They're top 10. We're great. And then Palmer throws down 55 on that defense.
I mean, this is a Bulldog team that had lost to Grand Saline and had lost to Edgewood, and you kind of felt Pottsboro, like you said, was filling themselves, and they were unbeaten, and they were getting some state ranked votes and everything. And then the Bulldogs just absolutely offensively had their way with Pottsboro. This is one of those games I'm a little shocked by. This kind of just throws 6-3 Division I in an area. I mean, it felt like
I still think Pottsboro has some defensive woes.
Yeah, I do too.
Like they have the last 2 years. I think they still have them. I think the defense might be a little bit better, but still not tier 1.
No, you bring up a really
defense.
good point, because I mean, the teams that they've held defensively are the Life Oak Cliffs. By the way, Life Oak Cliffs actually a really solid team, but still holding them to 22. They held Madison to 23. They gave up to 27 to Munster in a win. They gave up 13 to Mount Vernon, but Mount Vernon struggled. 35. They gave up 35 to Sanger and gave up 32 to Bells to begin the year.
Yeah.
So Pottsboro, as long as Pottsboro can outscore you, they're still going to be a threat. But you get that third round of playoffs,
Yeah,
you got to play
can't
at least
do that
a
for 17 weeks.
Exactly.
Not in Texas. All
Nope.
right, Grandview 48, Whitney 45. Whitney was coming in pretty strong. Grandview had played a very tough schedule all year. I think Grandview maybe starting to find their stroke now, right?
Well, and look, I'm going to say this, give Whitney credit, because a lot of people don't know, but they lost their running back, Jonte Johnson. He's out for the year. And so I am actually impressed that Whitney was able to still hit 40 points against Grandview. And also, Grandview to Whitney is the biggest mental block for Whitney. They just, a couple years ago, they upset them, and that was real big. But other than that, they never beat Grandview, and they never beat Grandview in Grandview. So I know Grandview gets the win, and they deserve the credit. But I think Whitney, this actually speaks well of Whitney to be able to score 45 without your star guy. And they're going to have to adjust. But, yeah, great win for Grandview. And they're just kind of sitting there going, hey, everybody keeps writing us off. We're just going to keep winning.
All right, Grand Saline 75, Edgewood 40. Man, Grand Saline's now 6-0. When are we going to start believing in Grand Saline?
Well, you and I talked about them on the Big Arts preview
now.
show. Yeah, I mean, we talked about on the, Coach Trennan. He's the one that led Mineola to his 2 state championships in the teens, including one as a win. But man, you want to talk about a night for this offense?
601 yards of total offense for the Indians,
and almost exclusively 2 guys. Jet Taylor, 14 carries, 309 yards, 5 touchdowns. He threw for 28 yards and a touchdown. Oh, he also had an interception return for a touchdown. And then their running game, what's his name? He had
Colt Boyd.
200 yards.
224 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, that's that
how do you
type of
defend
offense.
that, right?
Yep.
When a quarterback's doing that to you, and then you got a running back that can pop it around the edge or squirt it through the tackles, that's tough to defend. And the defense, they gave up 40 to Edgewood, but the defense for Grand Saline, while it could probably be a little bit better, is still playing. They're playing well enough to their offensive strength.
Yeah, and Edgewood's a really good offense this year.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs kind of get lost because they can struggle defensively at times, including in this one. But I mean, this is an offense.
Anytime you give up 70
you're
plus
struggling
against anybody.
But I mean, we talked about Palmer. Edgewood scored 52 on Palmer. And beat them 52-47. So you don't want to give up 40, but also again, we weren't at the game. I haven't seen a box score. That could have been one of those where Edgewood throws on some trash points at the end. Right. Hey, look at Wichita Falls City View beating Jacksboro 28-21. The Mustangs are now 5-1, but more importantly, that district, and it was one of our toughest districts in the district show. It is coming to fruition when you look at a Jacksboro team that just a few weeks ago was, and they're still top 10, but just a few weeks ago were top 5. And a lot of people were talking about how they might even be better than they were last year when they had Lando Belcher at quarterback, because they've kind of gotten better at defense. And I still think Jacksboro is going to be playing for a long time this year. But man, Wichita Falls City View has definitely thrown their hat in this ring. This district, I said it in
region favorite. Top 3 region favorites?
Wichita or Falls
City View?
them, Jacksboro. I mean, you know, who plays Gunner first is always going to be the issue.
Right.
But man, I see. Okay, folks. I'm not saying they would beat Gunter, but if there's a team in this region that can out
Push.
athlete them, it's going to be Wichita City View.
Yeah.
Because Wichita
It's just
Falls
what
City View.
City View is going to do up front.
Yes,
against
and,
Gunner,
and that's going to be the struggle.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what happens if you get down 14-0 against Gunner? You almost can just say, "Well, that's it. Great season, boys." But this district is going to be a blast. I said it in the preview show. Whoever wins this district would not go unscathed, and I still believe that.
Yeah, here's a team we saw week 4 last, Lexington, man. Lexington beating a really good Thrall team.
Thrall was really feeling
70-7.
good about themselves going into this
Let
game.
me tell you, I want to tell you again. Look at pull up Thrall's schedule and see the numbers, the scores they put up, and Lexington held them to 7 while scoring 70. Lexington 70, Thrall 7. I'm telling you right now, that Lexington defense is almost impossible to run on. That's how good they are. I know we hear about you know, the quarterback and the receiver, Mason Bealey, K7's the quarterback.
Deserve it, so.
Right. I mean, they're great, man. They're great. Great running back, but that defense is one of the most underrated defenses statewide. Nobody talks about it because they haven't seen them. But let me tell you right now, the eyes I laid on Lexington 2 weeks ago, that defense was they were nasty.
100%. And I know right now, rightfully so, Division II 3A, you just kind of go Gunner. And I'm not saying Lexington beat Gunner, but I'm saying if Lexington's defense is playing the way they have been playing all year long,
I think
they have a
I've seen
shot.
Lexington and I've seen Gunner. I'm not saying Lexington would beat Gunner, but I'm saying they can beat Gunner.
No, I totally agree.
On a good night, they can beat Gunner. They'll I mean, that'll be a close game. That's how good Lexington is. Do not overlook Lexington. All right, Comanche 13, Jim Ned 10.
Dude,
what a slobber knocker this was.
You know, first off, Jim Ned just continues to impress week in and week out, and we've talked about that. And you look at their schedule, you're like, well, they're 3-3. Yeah, they lose by 7 to Estacado, a 4A team. They lose by 1 to Wall, a really good team, and then they lose to 3 by Comanche, a team that you and I have talked about all year long. And Comanche's 2 losses are to Poth and Toller.
Look how bad Poth beat them,
35-14. You know,
that's how good Poth is.
That's how good Poth is. Exactly.
I saw Poth. Went and rewatched that Poth Fall City game. Man, dude, Poth.
And dude,
I'm telling you, Poth, man, it's good.
And look at Sweetwater. They started out slow, but
they scored 90 something this week.
Oh, was that what? That's who. What I knew there was somebody.
Yeah,
I thought I might have seen that wrong, but yeah, it was TLC Academy 90-0. But you know, the 3A Division I, dude. We talked about it all year or all off season. It was going to be stacked, and it's showing that it's going to be stacked, except for TLC. They're not good. But just really impressive win for Comanche, man, because it felt like Jim Ned was really starting to find itself, and they were kind of pulling out those wins that Jim Ned does.
13-10 loss for Jim Ned. That's a penalty here. Missed assignment there.
I think the one negative
turnover. It's like 1 to 2 plays is what a 3-point game is.
Yeah, and it feels like Jim Ned might be missing a little bit of. They need a playmaker to step up offensively.
Cray Beasley's generally
he needs
that
help,
playmaker.
Though. But they need you can't. I mean, even as great as defense are, and we're kind of sliding more into more of a defensive era again. You can't win a lot of games in the playoffs only scoring 17 points. You've got to. They're going to have to figure out a Robin to the Batman that is Gray Beasley.
All right, Muleshoe 42, Lubbock Roosevelt 36. That was a good game. How about New Diana 72, West Russ 7?
I do want to go back to the Muleshoe because they're the exact opposite of Jim Ned. They can score with anybody, but their defense is going to be their Achilles heel. Even in this game, great win against a very underrated Roosevelt team who's now 5-2, but they gave up 36. In fact, on the year, They've given up 74 to Canadian. And I know it's easy to say, well, it's Canadian, but Canadian's offense isn't what Canadian's offense normally is.
Yeah.
They gave up 50 to Dalhart 2 weeks ago, and then they gave up 36 to Roosevelt. Now, on to New Diana. That's a team that we're going to see this week, as we're going to go to Troop to watch Troop versus New Diana, and I think a very underrated matchup. But, man, New Diana is – I hate to be generically cliche because they're the Eagles, but, man, they're flying high. They're not only putting up the points, but, man, nobody's talking about – nobody has scored more than 17 points against this defense so far this year.
You know what this is called? It's called speed.
Yes.
Right? New Diana has speed.
Speed and quickness.
Yeah.
But in saying that, and we'll talk about it here in the preview because we're going to be going to the game. I think a lot of people are forgetting that Troop, after starting 0-2, 2 solid losses, Shelbyville, who we'll talk about, and Edgewood, who we have talked about. Since then, they've won 5 in a row, and they're sitting at 3-0 in district. And in fact, I'm pretty sure whoever wins this game clinches a playoff spot.
Probably
We're
so,
at that time of the year, folks,
I know.
especially for these bigger districts because they're 4 games into district this week.
All right. One of the most impressive teams all year, Palestine Westwood, 63, Crockett 14. Westwood's Kavian Bryant and John Denman have combined for 500 yards of offense in that game. Westwood now 6-0. They pretty much blown everyone out.
I'm just worried about they've played nobody. And that
they haven't. But Kavian Bryant, man. That's going to be a household name by the end of this year.
He's legitimately almost, if not a 5-star. He's going to be close by the time but still, they haven't played. I mean, you could say, well, they played Timpson, but that's a 2A score. And I know Timpson's Timpson, but
and Timpson's down.
Yeah, Timpson's down this year. That's kind of what happened last year with Palestine. That they came into the playoffs, they were hot. Everybody was like, man, look at what they've done. And then Lorena just absolutely bashed them last year.
Yeah.
And I still worry about that.
I think this is a different Westwood team.
We won't know till the playoffs, so that's the only problem.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. I mean, I don't think they're out trying to schedule weak non-districts, but I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Where you're at and who you're going to play. But yeah, that's my only concern about them. But still, I'm very impressed. I love Palestine Westwood being a good team this year.
Right.
And speaking of a good team, look at Newton, man. I thought Woodville would pull the slight upset off, and there for a while it looked like they would, but the Eagles, Newton, they just absolutely dominate that second half. KJ Porter, dude, nobody's talking about this kid.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore. He is in that line of Newton running backs. He's about to by the time he graduates, barring, injuries, he's going to have probably 9,000 yards rushing because he already has 12,000. He already has 1,292
12,000 yards.
Well, he does have 20 touchdowns, dude. Think about that.
1,292 yards, 20 touchdowns, averaging 8.9 yards a carry. Newton beats Woodville 34-15.
I still am a little concerned about their defense against good offenses, but their offense is starting to show that, hey, if we need to get in a shootout like they did against Jefferson, even though Jefferson ended up winning, they answered when Jefferson jumped out big and they were able to put points on the board. They put up 32 against Tatum. So I am very impressed with their offense. Newton's defense has got to ratchet up before they get to the playoffs.
Yeah, they do.
All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right, that is Week 7 review. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Coach X, and we're going to preview the Week 8 games right here on the 3A edition of Sideline to Sideline. As I try to find the commercial. There it is.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player, any age, at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And with concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Lights are bright
Terry
on
Vinegary
Friday
Goodwin
night.
back here, sideline to sideline, the Class 3A edition. It is the preview section of Week 8. That means it's Coach X. So here we go. I'll go ahead and read his diatribe. If you don't know, Coach X was a real coach in the state of Texas. He's not coaching right now. He won't talk about it. It's been sealed, some kind of court thing. But here's what he has to say. Hey, Grant.
Hey, what?
You hear that sound?
No.
That's the sound of Coach X. Hang on, let me turn this off. I thought I had. That's the sound of Coach X crossing the border back into the great state of Texas. I even queued up the Stone Cold theme song right when I came into Memphis and saw Cyclone Stadium. By the way, they had to postpone a game this year
because of the
fugitive who had shot a cop.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? He shot the sheriff.
The Hall County Sheriff.
Yeah, luckily
That's
the
right.
sheriff's going to survive. But yeah, that was crazy.
That stadium, by the way, is
awesome.
Right on the highway.
That was 6 days after we drove past Memphis.
Yeah.
That was just one of those crazy things.
Did you go back?
I'm too lazy to shoot a cop. I shot the sheriff.
You can't shoot straight anyway.
That's probably true. Got to be hell on ball boys there, though, when you kick an extra point and the ball goes on the Highway 287. Wait, is Memphis where you got the infamous – we didn't even really talk about the mayonnaise egg McMuffin.
No, that wasn't the mayonnaise egg McMuffin.
I can't remember what town
Let's
that
save
was.
that for later.
Yeah, anyway, there you go, Coach.
That was in Clarendon, I think.
Yeah, Clarendon. Okay. There you go, Coach's son. Watch out for that 18-wheeler, but damn it, get that GST. It costs $100. Got to hit a lead. Oh, he's got
GST. Does anybody play with the GST anymore?
I don't know. I'm still remembering the Wilson 1001.
Or the Pro 5.
Or the Pro 5,
Rawlings.
yep. What is the big ball right now?
Huh?
What is the big ball right
The
now?
Team Issue Ball.
Is it
now.
no, is that the brand though? What is it?
Team Issue?
Oh, that's literally the name of it?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think,
even know.
I think
Okay.
I don't know who makes them.
Oh, okay. Anyway, got a hit lead on a job. I'm going to show Tim Watts how to hold and load a shotgun. You know, that guy was a football coach and politics said we stick together. Hold on. I just got an X notification. What is this? Oh, wow. No way. Holy hell. Oh, on second thought, I think I'm going to pass on that job. I'm going to stop in Graham and get some egg rolls, though. You bite, you buy. And that is what Coach X has to say.
I still think he needs to take my advice on the timeshares. That's where
What
the
was that
money
one?
is.
What was your idea? You give me 40 ideas a week with him.
Well, no. I mean, I tried to talk him into like cashing out his retirement, putting it into timeshares. That's where it's at. But here he is off teaching
Dude, his
Tim
retirement
Waltz.
is $259 and a McDonald's gift card book from the 80s. I mean,
It could be.
I still like the idea of figuring out how to get that Jim Ned dentist, chiropractor, masseuse, and figuring out how to work that into something.
Wait, there's a Jim Ned chiropractor.
That's what he said. He
dentist
wants
and
to give you a
masseuse?
prostate exam, but he's also a dentist. So, I mean, he does all the other things. He said he'd give you some wine and take you out. And
Oh,
that's why you
Man,
keep trying to book a Jim
I wanted
Ned
to go
game.
eat steak out in Tuscola. I don't think I'm going anywhere near there now.
He'll show you the pink eye as you eat the ribeye. All right, let's
I'm
go.
a little scared.
Let's go into the Week 8 games, including the one that we're going to be going to, and we're extremely excited as we're going to be heading to Troop, Texas this week. We're going to stop by Stanley's first in Tyler, and I'm going to get me the cluck, and we're going to watch some good football. I think this is low-key one of the best games this week.
I do too, but I think New Diana's going to run away with this game.
Ooh, runaway.
Look,
I like
Troops running back Brett Wells. He's averaging about 150
Coach
yards.
Sam Wells' son.
Yeah, a game rushing. But New Diana's defense they've been money. They're only giving up just under 9 points a game this year. And their offense is just rolling with DeJuan Johnson, a quarterback who's a dual threat quarterback, Davian Maps at running back, Jaden Johnson at receiver. New Diana is loaded.
Oh, no, I totally agree.
Troop is getting there, but can Troop, can they crack this New Diana defense, and can they defensively even hold New Diana under 40? That's the big question. Like, has anybody,
Only Sabine, but that's because New Diana won 32-0. So you kind of feel like they throttled back. No, I agree with you. I think the only way, I say the only way, I think if Troop is going to win, it has to be a shootout. I just don't think that they can stop New Diana's offense. I don't think that they can keep up. In fact, when we were talking about this game from last week, it feels like this. This kind of feels like the Troy Franklin game, where I think this is going to be blow for blow until Troop has that one drive that they can't score, and then that's when New Diana just pulls the throttle and they're gone.
Yeah, and Troop's got to stay ahead of the chains, right?
Yeah.
No drive killers. They cannot have any drive killing 5-10 yard penalties, right? Nope. I think Troop needs to pull out a perfect game to be in it against New Diana, but I think New Diana wins this one big. All right, East Chamber.
Coach
okay.
X,
What do you? Oh, Coach X.
Coach X. All right, here's what Coach X.
What a beat down.
By the way, again, Coach X, he's the one that hates you right now, not me.
Oh, I love Coach X.
Remember when Diana was losing to teams every week like 90-7? Well, that was old Diana. And this is new. God, that's so chair. Or I
thought that was funny, Coach X.
Of course you do. Or NDO, if you will. And when you are NDO, you are NDO for life. That's NWO for life. Eagles roll the Tigers. So we all agree that New Diana wins. And I legitimately think that New Diana is starting to kind of feel like a region favorite.
Yeah, I think so too. But until I really get eyes on it and see, I mean, sometimes,
Paper Tigers.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, East Chambers 4-2 taking on a 4-2 Cold Spring team. East Chambers KJ Fontenot at quarterback, very impressive. Kobe Jones running back, Gerald Smith at receiver. Cold Spring's coming in here. Their only two losses are to Orangefield and to Woodville. Not bad losses. I think. Golly, who do I like in this one? I might go Cold Spring in this one.
I was feeling East Chambers all week. I say all week, it's Tuesday, but while we're doing the show research. But
how long's your week been? It's like Tuesday, dude.
Sometimes it feels like forever. I don't know, man. It's when Cold Spring is good, it's really hard to go in there and play well.
Yeah.
Both of these teams are coming off losses. I mean, this is a game that decides.
It's like Autzen Stadium at Oregon. Kind of, is that what you mean?
I don't think it's that. That's a beautiful stadium, by the way.
It is, but I don't know. It's hard to play at Autzen.
Okay,
so you said it's hard to play at Cold Spring.
By proxy, by that very
Cold Spring equals Eugene, Oregon.
That very wide range.
Because I've been to Cold Spring. I've stayed a night in Cold Spring. I've watched a game in Cold Spring, and at no point did I equate that to Eugene, Oregon.
I'm still afraid to go to Cold Spring. I'm still afraid to go to Cold Spring.
That guy was
way back. Do you realize that's 15 years ago?
That guy did not
on
like
3A down low, which is now Texas down low. This is when Cold Spring was really good. Sometimes this happens. You just get a guy that for whatever reason doesn't like that you talk high school football and feels that you're whatever. And I mean, this dude just went like he was ready to fight me in the parking lot. And then you met him like 2 weeks later and you were like, he was the nicest guy.
Yeah, he was cool dude.
He's very old.
I like how he started siding with him. You're right.
Oh, but anyway, I
Yeah, there's trolls everywhere, dude.
yeah, it
That's
is.
what I love. I actually love the trolls.
That's what
It's
makes
pretty
it,
fun.
it's the funnest part. But now the point is, though, this is a very important game because the difference in no matter who you are in being the third place and the fourth place team can be massive. I'm
Mhm.
like you. I think Cold Spring, I don't think it's an upset. I think it's a pick 'em game, but I like Cold Spring. Here's what Coach X has to say. We really need to step up our water filtration system in Texas. Every tourist destination that deals with water is all about hot springs. We have cold springs. What the hell? Nobody wants cold water unless it's a hot day and you're thirsty. Then yes, cold is way better than hot. Unless you have a sore throat, but even then, you still want cold. Bucks win. That was the most weird
Because his
circle.
mama told him to gargle with salt water when he had the whoa.
And Gunter Roaches. All right, what's the next game?
All right, Paradise and Peaster. Man, this Paradise defense has been pretty darn good. They give up just over 10 points a game on average. They're now 5-2 with losses to Godly and Eagle Mountain. Eagle Mountain's a lot better than what I think their record
Oh
shows.
yeah, they're a 4A team, and
Right.
no, that's no shame in that. Neither one of those losses are bad. Look at what
right.
Godly did.
Yeah.
You know,
Peaster's 5-1, right? And they got a really good quarterback who's a dual threat in Caden Albert. So Slate Robertson, a receiver, averages about 28 yards a catch. So, you know, I don't know that Peaster can crack this Paradise defense to the tune of 30, which is what I think Peaster needs to be at to beat Paradise.
I like Peaster in this game.
Do you?
I think this is a one possession game. First off, Trevor Owens, Mickey Owens' son, wonderful job at Peaster. 3 years ago, they thought that they were going to be they were going to challenge Brock when they were in that district, and they were going to be the
They
next
talked
big
that
team.
smack the night before.
Talked all that smack and then got donkey stomped, and you
Right.
never heard from Peaster again. Coach Owens stepped in last year, kind of started
Brock
rebuilding.
set them back
Five
years.
generations.
Don't talk crap, man.
And to be fair, Brock did the same thing to Paradise, not quite as big. And the question with Paradise this year was, okay, so what were they going to do after losing the best class in the history of their football program?
And that quarterback.
Austin Iglesias, who is now at A&M Commerce. And again, I'm not saying they're better, but at the end of the year last year, Iglesias was beat up, and Paradise had no one else that could respond.
But the song they're singing in Paradise is how quick their defense is. Right?
And it is. And both of these defenses are really, really good. I mean, on the year, Paradise, I'm sorry, let me go Peaster first. On the year, Peaster's giving up 0-17, 32 to Jacksboro, but that's Jacksboro, 9 to Bowie, and then 6 to Iowa Park. Paradise on the year, they were giving up 7, 6, 7, 7, 7 to Iowa Park. Both of them gave up 7 points. I think this is a lower scoring game. I'm going to go with Peaster, and I don't even know if it's an upset. I think this is very much a pick 'em game.
I'm going Paradise.
I have
in a
no
close
problem
one.
with that. All right, let's see what Coach X has to say. Peaster's going to get real close to winning this, like almost. They'll be knocking on heaven's door. They could ask for more. The Vacationers win this one. So he thinks Paradise Vacationers. See again, Coach. See Coach X?
No, I'm trying to figure it out. He's
X.
so deep, like his deep
Oh,
thoughts.
he's deep.
He's like Jim Morrison,
like
you know?
knee deep in shit. Deep,
No,
or
like
just-
he's like poetic, like Jim Morrison. Like I got to figure out his lyrics. Oh, I get it now.
Okay, I appreciate you having Franklin versus Little River Academy on here, but Little River Academy, I totally forgot when we were talking about them. Their stud guy went to Temple. Franklin's going to name their score. This is going to get ugly.
Yeah.
This might be like the only reason it won't is because Fannon's not that type, and Franklin will have the starters sitting by the first half.
Okay, cool. Thanks for making me feel like crap. All right, Orange Grove and Goliad.
Hey,
This is a good one right here.
Oh, it really is. I mean, I feel like this episode.
Hey, any common opponents here?
Oh, let me look. All right, so let's see. Goliad, East Bernard, Tidehaven, Mathis.
Goliad for
Let's
Goliad.
see.
Orange Grove, OrangeGrove.
Are you having a stroke?
No, I'm just helping you.
I mean, I've already pulled them both up. No, they actually don't yet. Oh, I know Palacios.
Okay.
Goliad won 50. Wait, hang on. Goliad won 56-8, and Orange Grove last week won 46-13.
Same.
So yeah, basically in the same ballpark.
Oh man, because reason being is I have gone back and forth on this one. I don't know. Orange Grove's got one really good win, right? Who was that win against? Had picked out.
They beat Rockport Fulton, Beeville Jones, Falfurrias, Corpus Christi, West Oso, and Palacios.
So Orange Grove doesn't have a great win. Maybe I was thinking of Orangefield. Sorry, Jim Beam's kind of hitting hard.
This ain't quite Gilmer running back defense, but
There was a team with orange in it that had a really good win. All things being said, all things being equal, give me Goliad
give
in
me
a
Goliad.
close one there.
I still think goalie, and I don't think they're going to, but I still think in this district, Goliad is the only one that can play within a touchdown of Edna.
Yes, but I don't know that they will.
I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying that's why.
Edna's on a different level. All of
Yeah,
a sudden.
I agree. Speaking of a different level, Columbus host Yoakum. Now, in saying that, Columbus at times this year, their defense has.
Don't do it.
No. Columbus is going to win comfortably, but I'm saying Yoakum has the offense that can give them can be competitive for a little bit. I mean, when you look, Yoakum scored 49 against Cuero. Yoakum's had, on the year, 41, 45, 49, 43, 36, 55. But
they're facing a different animal.
And the thing is with Columbus offense is so good. Their defense they don't have to stop everybody every drive. We saw that against Belleville.
Defense is so overlooked, not underrated.
No, I
overlooked.
I agree. When you got so many guys on offense like they do,
yeah,
and at times they're going to give up. To compare, think of it like the early 2000s Dallas Mavericks when they were scoring so quick. Well, no, hang on.
Early 2000s, any basketball team? You're asking me, or are you asking the listener?
The listener or the watcher,
okay.
And you know enough about basketball. You know Dirk and when Donnie Nelson was the head coach.
Please
or Don
give me
Nelson
a free throw, please. I think it's all communist. Give me a free throw. I need something free.
You go to basketball all the time now.
Huh?
You go to basketball all the time now, you commie.
Only because it's free.
I bet you're going to let Coach X live in your house for free because he needs help.
Oh, no, I'm not a commie.
But sometimes my point is they score so quick that sometimes their defense doesn't have a time to rest. And also, a lot of the offenses they've played this year are pretty darn good offenses like Belleville, like Madisonville, like Cuero. Look at Cuero, man. Cuero's kind of rounded back in the form.
Cuero's gotten a lot better. So I think we got them on the run sheet in Class 4.
So my point is, I think Columbus is going to win going away, but don't be shocked if you look at halftime and it's 28-21 or something like that. I do think Yoakum can score enough with them to be a thorn in the side early. I just don't think
they could. I do think this is a nice test for the Columbus defense, right? That outside of Belleville, really, what had they been tested by anybody that gives up 30 and 40 points?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Or puts up 30 and 40 points. All right. Anderson Shiro, 5-2, taking on a Woodville Eagle team that's 5-2. This is a low-key, really good game. Why I keep saying low-key?
I don't know.
It's because my wife has me watching these Lifetime shows like Married at First Sight and what's the other one? Love Is Blind, and they always say low key because everybody in their 30s and 20s say low key, and all of a sudden I'm saying it, and I got to get that out of my head.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Anderson Shiro still has not won a playoff game. They've been to they've only been 6 times. In fact, you might remember when the first year they went, it was really cool. The whole community came out and they did send them off, and the heartbreaking.
And then they came back. Lost 80-0.
Well, that's what I say though. I think they did get beat pretty bad the first one, but the last 2, they lost to New Diana last year 6-0 in the first round, and then 2 years ago they lost to Hugh Springs 36-30 in the first round. So they've been really competitive, and it feels like they're kind of building up to finally maybe get a playoff win. Problem is they're not going to win this week because Woodville's angry. The Eagles are 5-2. Again, we talked about them from last week, losing to Newton 35-14.
2 birds, Eagles and Owls. Shiro's the Owls, right?
Yes, it's the Owls and the Eagles. And last week the Eagles played the Eagles, and then you got the Warriors, the Tigers, and the Lions. Oh my! So who wins this game and why?
Wow, it's kind of not really. I like Woodville. I like Woodville because
do
their
too.
offensive diversity, but their defense not so bad. I know KJ had quite a bit of success.
What what's wrong with you? I mean, you're gonna be all about that DEI. That's fine. I'm not.
DEI. Yes, KJ
Oh,
Porter.
I didn't know you were wanting me to look for a name. My bad.
Thanks for helping me out.
Well, I mean,
KJ Porter from Newton just kind of put it on him, but I don't think Shiro has a KJ Porter.
Maybe
Thanks
they can
a
get
lot,
him.
dude.
Maybe they can get him with a name and likeness still and get
I
him a
hope this
transfer
doesn't
over.
end up on another one of your fancy real things.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. We appreciate everybody joining us. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, email the show, Grant and Terry at S2Sport.com. Find us on Facebook,
Lights are
Sideline to
bright
Sideline,
on
on Twitter,
Friday
at
night.
Grant and Terry.
Falling small
Anything else you
Texas
want to say?
town.
Nope.
All right,
People
until
train
week 9,
like
after
moths
this week,
to
3 more
flame,
weeks of
and
the
there
regular
ain't
season.
nobody
Playoff
Playoffs.
spots are going to be nailed
Hear
down
the
this week,
cops
starting out.
disregard the
And then
shots
next week, it's
and
only going to get
bangs.
better. Until
Hear the
then,
band.
this has been Sideline to
Play the
Sideline, the
alma
Class
mater
3
for the
edition,
sheriff's
3A
daughter.
edition
She's
on
queen of the
L4 Media.
hometown fans. Well,